The Daily Mail, comply or it's going to be a serious backlash. Activists demanding $800,000 for every black resident issues warning to California's Reparations Task Force. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am the Anti-Woke Warrior. I talk about not being woke. Things like don't dislike white people, don't dislike men, the poor treatment that people want to give to white people and men in the United States and the Western world in general. If you're not familiar, this article just dropped today. This afternoon as I'm recording this. So I'm recording this on the 16th. So yeah, California is trying to implement reparations for the black residents. And it doesn't make any sense. But we'll go ahead and take a look at this article and see what they have to say. Following the second meeting of California's Reparations Task Force, video shows one of the speakers warning of repercussions if payments weren't made. Activist Dion Jenkins warned the committee in an interview, comply or it's going to be a serious backlash. That sounds like a threat to me. That's illegal. You should be arrested. Will he be? No, of course not. Why not? Because he's black. Jenkins had earlier told the committee that black residents should be given more than $800,000 each in reparations. The task force wrapped up 2 days of public hearings on Thursday in Oakland and has until July 1st to make a recommendation on reparations. You'll get nothing and you'll be happy. Good swift kick in the pants, maybe. That's what I say. An activist has warned California's Reparations Task Force that there will be serious backlash if they do not comply with his demands of more than $800,000 to be handed out. I think there's supposed to be a 2 in there. Black residents. Dion Jenkins told the first meeting of the task force to study and develop reparations proposals for African Americans that money given to black people in California should be in line with the average price of a home in the state, around $800,000. Okay. Well, how do you know your ancestors were slaves? Do you have proof of that? Because if you don't have any proof of that, then you should not get any reparations at all, period. There's that issue, on top of which you shouldn't be getting reparations, period. Following that appearance at the public hearing in Oakland City Hall on Wednesday, Jenkins, who refers to himself as hip-hop organizer, said in an interview, either they're going to comply or it's going to be a serious backlash. Arrest him. That's a threat. It's calling for violence. He should be banned. Since 2021, the first of its kind in the nation, task force has been delving into history and studies to make its case for reparations in California to California descendants of enslaved black people. The group has until July 1st before they have to make a decision on reparations. This is illegal. I mean, you can't give people special treatment based on race. So there you go. And it's based on race. So this guy's got some serious dreadlocks. What is he? Is this gonna play? Is this a video?
Problem. And unfortunately, we all know what's next. Either they're going to comply or it's going to be a serious backlash.
And I will leave it right there, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes. Good one.
Thank you.
Okay, y'all, it's time to eat.
All right, so we got a couple things. This is him saying if you don't comply, it's going to be a serious backlash. What it sounds to me like is the people on the committee responding to him are all black. That's what it sounds like to me. So it's like, of course they're going to get the reparations because these people on the committee want that extra $800,000. Why wouldn't they? Jenkins ran for president in 2016 and 2020 and ran for U.S. Senate in California in 2022, gaining less than 7,000 votes on his official website. Jenkins calls himself a grassroots hip-hop organizer. Okay? I don't know why you think that you can, run for president and win when you look and act like a thug. So, all right. In his speech before the task force, Jenkins also said defense money, land, grants. Okay. 4 elements of every society, every nation, a defensive structure, economy, land, and having access to that economy. Okay. Well, good luck. I don't have access to the economy. Why is it that you should be granted access to the economy? I mean, really, what makes you more special than me? Oh, that's right. You're black. I'm sorry. What was I thinking? He continued, if that is not being addressed, reparations will not hold. Reparations, repair is the root word. We cannot have repair if those elements are not addressed. Also speaking on Thursday was Reverend Tony Pierce of the Black Wall Street Project, who shouted as his time for speaking ran out, $230,000 is not enough. Well, he's just a modern-day Robin Hood, isn't he? All the money from the rich to the needy. Will it ever be enough? Would $2.3 million be enough? That's 10 times 230,000. Would that be enough? I'm guessing no. I'm guessing it's never going to be enough. No matter what you do, it's never going to be enough. And how do you parse out who pays for this? Oh, that's right. It just comes right out of the tax pool. So you're taking my taxes, which are already too high, and giving it to other people because they're crying that their ancestors were somehow mistreated. Well, my ancestors were mistreated. So who do we find to make reparations to me? Where do we have to go? Another speaker, Carol Williams, who said that she lived through homelessness since moving to the state in 1985 from Memphis, stated her belief that all reparations should be tax-free. No, they should be 100% taxed. Just like, oh, there's $800,000, we're just going to keep that because it's going to be 100% taxed. I don't know what to tell you. It's just 100% tax. We're going to do something good with it, like, fix the roads and provide for the entirety of the citizenry, not just you people. Let's see, she said, I consider myself a foundational black American. I think it's the reparations should be tax-free so that when we get the money, the IRS won't come after us. And I'm pleading and I'm asking that when we make the decision of lineage, we save those who have been in California since 2000. I'm not sure what they mean by that. You're only going to save the people who've been in California since 2000? Nobody who's been here since 2010? Or is that people who've been here since before 2000? Does that count? I don't know. Okay. I'm thinking it's only since 2000. Well, another speaker said, I can't even walk down the street without being judged. Yeah, that's the way people are. They judge each other. Wow, your life is terrible. There's nothing I can do in this world without being judged. Why should I be judged? Only by the color of my skin. Well, you're judging me by the color of my skin. White men are evil. I've heard it all before. And the gender that I am. Wow. So, I don't know what to tell you. At Wednesday's hearing, a 35-year-old entrepreneur and the first black professional triathlete, Max Fennell, who said that every person should get $350,000 in compensation to close the racial wealth gap, and black-owned businesses should receive $250,000, which would help them to flourish. Yeah, what about businesses that are not owned by black people that aren't flourishing? Why is it that all of a sudden, if it's a black-owned business that's not flourishing, it's because the person is black? What if you own a business and it's not flourishing and you're not black? I've known people who've owned businesses that were not black and their businesses failed. And they weren't necessarily white either. So, it's like I've known lots of people whose businesses have failed over the years. I've seen lots of businesses fail over the years. I've seen businesses that were part of big chains, individual businesses fail. So it has nothing to do with you being black necessarily. In California is like notably not racist. Like California is like super not racist against anybody but white people. They are anti-white like to the max, but they are not anti-black. They are not anti-Hispanic. They are not anti-Asian. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you about this. It doesn't really make any sense to me that you think your business is suffering because you're black. Where is all this notion coming from? You're in California. He concluded his remarks by saying the tangibles of what I'm asking for is $350,000 per black American. Fennell added, it's a debt that's owed. We worked for free, he said. We're not asking, we're telling you. Okay, so you didn't work for free. You were not a slave. You were not alive when slavery was around. So you didn't work for free, so stop with that garbage. This bullcrap. And what about the Chinese who were brought over here to build the railroads? Do we owe them something? You can go back through history and find all sorts of groups of people that were mistreated in one way or another. Are they all owed something? It comes down to a lot of people would be owed a lot of stuff just because human beings mistreat each other. He concluded his remarks by saying the tangibles of what I'm asking for is $350,000 per black American in California. That's tangible. Small business grant, $250,000, and land 15 to 20 acres. I don't think there's enough land in California to give 15 acres to every black person in the state. Let's see, racial demographics of California. All right, what do we got here? By race, 2021. And we see on here, I know you can't see, I'm not sharing that screen, but trying to find where it says percentage of blacks. Non-Hispanic whites, Hispanics, non-Hispanic blacks. Non-Hispanic blacks percentage in the 2010 census, 5.8 is what it says here. 5.8. 5.8% of blacks. And I think there's like 35 million people in California. 35 million times 0.058 equals 230,000. Right? No, that's 2 million. Sorry, 2,030,000. 2,030,000 times 15 equals 30 million acres, 30.5 million acres of land that needs to be given out. I don't think California is that big. That's freaking enormous. I don't know. Maybe somebody wants to do the math and tell me down in the comments or do the research and find out how many acres California is made up of. I actually just did the research myself. And it's bigger. It's bigger than that. Look, it's 104 million acres. Overall size of more than 1/4 million. California is the third largest state in the U.S. So that's a third of California, though. That's 1/3 of California almost that you want to just give to black people just because. I don't know if that's a lot of land. I don't know what that would do for people. It's just that I don't know how that would work. That's just ridiculous. But Fennell posted a video on Instagram showing him at the hearings with around 60 others alongside the caption, "Witnessing history with the tribe." I hope that history is you guys come out to be lunatics. Everything you want is shot down, and some of you are arrested for threats. That would be nice. So what is this guy here is former Democratic congressional candidate Morris Griffin holds up a sign during the meeting. Reparations in crew now. I'm glad this guy, he was a candidate for Congress. This is why you didn't get in, because you got these crazy beliefs. Yeah, see, California's committee task force, black, yeah, all of them, okay, one of them is white. Everybody else is black. Huh. I wonder how this is going to go. I can't figure it out. Can you, any of you, dear audience, figure out the end result of these calls for reparations in California? Meanwhile, what the hell kind of name is that? Mr. Johnson III. Okay, Mr. Johnson. A Richmond City Council member said it's remarkable that the issue is even being talked about publicly. You have to name a problem in order to address it, he said. This is not a problem. Which one of you can't get a job because you're black? That's illegal. Which one of you can't make $1 million because you're black? Again, that's illegal. Of course, we want to see it addressed now. The urgency is now, but just having it all aired out and put on the line is a major feat. The day before the hearings began, the chair of the committee hit out at reports that the group plans to recommend that $225,000 will be handed out to each person applying for the program. And what's going to happen if they don't get that, if they get a smaller amount, even if they only get $200,000? You know it's going to be bedlam. You know there's going to be riots and such, because it's, you know, they're going to think that's bullcrap. It's an insult. And imagine if it's something that the state could reasonably handle, like $25,000. It's going to be a problem. You know, these people are going to just like riot and stuff because they think they're being shortchanged. They think they're being mistreated again. Like, how dare you agree to this? And it's an insult. It's an insulting amount. That's how people are. What can you do? In a series of interviews on December 13th, Kamala V. Moore said that the figure presented to the committee by an economic research team represents the state of California's maximum culpability for housing discrimination. So this is about housing discrimination, not about having been enslaved. And yet, when we see them talk about it, the people who want this money, it's always about, I work for free. We just saw it up here. I work for free, therefore I need to get money. Okay. It only applies to people who were impacted by housing discrimination between 1933 and 1977, and not just black people. Well, there you go. I mean, it's all done and figured out right there. So this is for housing discrimination. It's not for black people. Then why is this always about, you know, black people and what black people need and want, and they were slaves, and et cetera, et cetera? Moore said, in reality, that number would be minimized when you take into account the fact that the task force decided in March that the community of eligibility would be lineage-based rather than race-based. Okay? So let me ask you, were these people who were impacted by housing discrimination, did they ever receive welfare from the state of California? Because a lot of these people who couldn't get a house, I mean, they had families and they didn't have a livable income, or they didn't have any income, because that's how you get welfare. She added, when you really look at who was really impacted by housing discrimination during that particular time period, it most likely won't be all black folks. In a separate interview on Spectrum News, Moore pointed out the need for a Bureau of African American Affairs in order to handle the payments, pointing to the success of the Bureau of Indian Affairs record of handling similar issues for Native Americans. Yeah, it's about housing discrimination, not African American affairs. I believe you. Yeah. This is a problem, right? Because these are my tax dollars that they're taking to pay for this nonsense. Oh, you can see more of the committee here. Look at black, 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 black. Everybody on the committee. This person actually might be white, but it's hard to tell. She might be Hispanic, probably. It looks like this guy is the only white person, and then everybody else is some other race other than white. So, of course, you know, again, this is all about as a race, we were in some way held back. And so therefore, we need to be given a handout. But the fact is, none of you were actually held back. Well, maybe some of you were victims of housing discrimination, but that's not based on race. They just said that in the article. It's not based on race. It's housing discrimination. That's different. Moore opened the hearing on Wednesday by saying September's meeting in LA and today's meeting in Oakland characterized a development stage. Now we are not really looking for folks to provide personal and expert testimony. She continued, it is important to get this right because we are setting the precedent for other states and localities, and also for the federal government as well. Yeah, this needs to be met with a lawsuit because it's illegal. Councilmember Carol Fife of Oakland pointed out the problems of homelessness in California. Fife said homelessness is off the charts in California, and that's part because there have been populations, particular black Americans, who have barred from access to housing. No, the reason there's homelessness in California is because of corruption in the bureaucracy. There probably are other factors as well, but you can't just point to the barring of black Americans, which has been illegal for 55 years, and say, I mean, yes, okay, they point up here 1977, which is only 45 years. 1977, that's only 45 years, but we had equal rights passed 55 years ago. Not to mention the fact that, our borders are open. If you don't like it here, if you're so downtrodden here, why would you stay? I don't understand that. If there was some place for me to go, being a white person, there's not any place for me to go because the entire world is against white people now, unless I go to Russia, which is like freaking hellhole. So, I mean, Edward Snowden's made it work, maybe. So, the reason that there's such a big homelessness problem in the state of California, especially like in Los Angeles, is because of corruption, because the people who work in the homeless coalition, they get, some of the people on the upper levels, they get hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Do you think they want to solve homelessness? Not even a little bit. Because if they solve homelessness and their bureau, the coalition goes away, no more money. So it's all about them making money, them keeping their job security. Members of the committee will make preliminary policy recommendations such as audits of government agencies that deal with child welfare and incarceration, with the aim of reducing disparities in how black people are treated. The group discussed how the state may address its impact on black families whose property was seized through eminent domain. The topic garnered renewed attention after lawmakers last year voted to return a beachfront property known as Bruce's Beach to descendants of the black residents who owned it until it was taken in the 20th century. Okay, you're not supposed to take people's private property. You're supposed to pay for it. So I don't know anything about this Bruce's Beach thing. Maybe you're a historian. Maybe you want to do research on it. I don't know. Officials from Oakland, Sacramento, Los Angeles, and other California cities spoke about local reparations efforts. That included Kansa T. Jones Muhammad, vice chair of Los Angeles Reparations Advisory Commission, created last year under then Mayor Eric Garcetti. The goal of the commission is to advise the city on a pilot program for distributing reparations to a group of black residents, but it doesn't have a timeline set in stone for finishing its work. Why are people not suing the crap out of California? Yeah. This is just, it keeps going on and on and on about, yeah, we deserve the money. This is like repeating itself. We get it. We got to have the money. We got to have it. We got to have the money. And there's comments down here. All right. So right here, Batty Girl says, do they not realize the government has them recorded on camera? This is nothing more than waving another carrot. LA should be more concerned about fixing their schools, but then again, in a public that knows how to think is not easy to control. Not paying a dime of this, says Maydog. Yeah, how about we educate our kids to get good jobs? Why do taxpayers have to pay for something we are not responsible? Sell public land, sell parks and recreations, increase property tax, the state and the people will go broke. Yeah, and I mean, that 30 million acres that they want to give away, minimum 30 million acres, right? It might be more than that. It might be 40 million acres. How much of California is a national park? And you can't just give it away. I mean, it's considered federal land. You can't just give it away. This guy's like, oh, this again, yawn. I'll wait to read this again next year. Yeah, okay. Things are actually changing and happening. This guy says ridiculous. Yesterday it was 300,000. Next week it'll be 2.4 million. Yeah, like I said, it's never going to be enough. This is a way for them to succeed through force, like demanding. See, they're demanding that we get this money. Arr! It's violence. It's just another type of violence. They can't succeed on their own, so they want to force the government to do it, to take money from me, from you, and give it to them. And how many of these things, how many of these problems were caused by me? This money comes from me. It's not made by the state. The state doesn't go, I'm going to make some money. No, it comes from taxes. Our taxes are already too high in California as it is. and they want to just take this money and give it away to people who are going to who knows what they're going to do with it. Just roll around in it. Who knows? And maybe they'll do something that will be productive with it, but I doubt it. It's most likely going to be that it's just squandered away, wasted on trash, drugs, alcohol, luxury items that get broken and destroyed over the course of a few years, a boat here and there maybe. And I mean, those things do help the economy, but it's not going to be anything that's going to be lasting. It's not going to be like, hey, you know, I started my own business and I'm actually employing people and I'm actually doing good for the community. It's not going to be that sort of thing. That's what I say about this trickle-down economic stuff doesn't work. We've seen it. It doesn't work because if people buy like a luxury item, and usually it's the rich people who are buying these luxury items, and those things, they're going to take care of their stuff. It's going to last for a long time. And then, yeah, you employed somebody to make that item, but then how many rich people are there buying that item? And it doesn't trickle down. That money gets held in offshore accounts. It gets held in bank accounts. It gets put into the stock market. It gets put into some sort of land, investment in just land. Like I own 50 acres of nothing, 50 acres of wilderness. Okay, great. That doesn't help grow the economy. That's why trickle down economics doesn't work. That's part of the reason why these reparations aren't going to work. Who died and decided that I had to pay all this taxes? Like my grandmother immigrated here in 1919. I think it's 1919. She's not from the United States. She never lived in California. Do I have to pay less of my taxes to this sort of thing? See, that doesn't make any sense. All these people, they just want to take and demand that they're given so that they can get a leg up. It's not about what's fair. It's about them wanting an advantage. Anyway, that's all I got for this time. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed. You can find me over on Rumble and on Twitter. I will see you all in the next video.